Hey, good afternoon. Great to be with you after a win out there in Indianapolis, and just getting ready to go. It'll be great to have a day of practice with Green Bay and then play them on Sunday. So with that, any questions you may have?
I noticed 2 punts, I think, in this last game, and Riley took both of them.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have. If our offense can move the ball like that, and we're only punting twice a game, we're going to have a lot of wins.
Will they get his chance to punt?
Yeah, I hope so. You know, just the opportunities there, Mike. You know, we're rotating those guys. They were actually going 2-2-2, and I feel bad for him because he's been hitting the ball so well in practice, and just didn't have the opportunity to show it. Just, you know, when you only have 2 punts. So, yes, the intention is to punt both of them equally on Sunday.
It's kind of a big question, but getting to see the kickoff down in real time with your players on both sides, how did it go, or how was it to evaluate what you did?
Yeah, evaluation-wise, you know, that's on multiple fronts, not only the play, but your scheme, and then evaluating the players. So starting with the play, I was encouraged. I think that what was encouraging is we had a kick, we had a catch, we had a return, and we had a tackle. And then actually both teams had a pretty good return that brought some excitement to the play. So I think from that standpoint, that was encouraging. As far as our scheme, you know, we're learning. There's some things that we saw that we really liked, and there's some things that we're improving on. That's, you know, that's what we were doing just a few minutes ago, is how can we continue to get better at this play. And then evaluation-wise, there's some players that did a nice job, and that's still a work in progress, and that's part of their evaluation, so that was encouraging to see. So on all 3 levels, I would say stock up.
How unique is it to be in a position to be painting essentially on a blank canvas? I'd imagine as a football coach, you don't have that opportunity very often. I mean...
Yeah, we find it right now interesting. It's intriguing. It's interesting. It's concerning, right, because there's a lot of things that are going on with it. I would just suggest to you that it's a point in the right direction. I think the numbers would tell you that last year there was an 80% touchback rate, and in week 1 of the preseason there was an 80% return rate. Now, that'll vary as we move along the season, but I think, again, meeting the demands of increased returns, reducing the long-run high-speed collision, I think that was a thumbs up all around. So, yes, we're continuing to paint this canvas, and that just never stops. It just never stops.
What happens tomorrow? Is it share with each other what you've learned, or play it to the best?
Yeah, so Coach Bisaccia will be in here. You're talking about the special teams corner. Yes, there'll be great dialogue, I think. I think Coach Payton said it best. You know, they're in the NFC, we're in the AFC. They're not on our schedule. We'd love to see them in New Orleans in February. So I think there's going to be some knowledge that's shared there. I mean, we're not going to give away the keys to the kingdom or anything along those lines. But to answer your question, yes, I've got a great relationship with Coach Bisaccia. I've known him for a long time. So, and we've had some of that dialogue. That has occurred behind closed doors on the phone with other teams and such. So I'm excited. I know our players are excited to practice against another team, and I think it'll be a good environment for us and good repetition to learn more about this play.
How are players adjusting to kind of that smooth kickoff to that to being in place and then starting when the ball hits the ground or when the ball gets to the receiver, because those guys that are in blocking, they can't necessarily see the ball coming.
So I would say it's a work in progress, but it's not as substantial or as a red flag as you may think. There are some instances where that happens. I don't think that's a red flag. I think as players get more reps, whether it's as a coverage player or as a return player, they'll get more accustomed to the timing of the play. Again, I think I shared last week, the 2 concerns are how the ball gets delivered as we move forward, so that it is a play that ends up being returned, and if there's a catch, there's a kick, there's a catch, there's a return, and then where that starting field position ends up being, because the touchback right now, kicking it through the end zone, is the 30, and I think in week 1 the average starting field position was like the 28-29. So again, that'll be interesting to see as we move forward.
Sean said that he thought that teams would keep things in their back pocket, maybe not sharper than they have. So when you're watching other teams with a kickoff rule, are you trying to project then, sort of what builds from there, or is there part of it where you just have to wait for the regular season?
I think there's a couple things on that. I think number one is yes, you're not showing everything, but on the same token, the offense is still running some of their base offense when they're playing Indianapolis or Green Bay. The defense is still running some of their base defense. So, we're still running base plays. Will there be other wrinkles? Yes. And where we may get a lot of those wrinkles is from watching teams. There's a copycat league there to a degree in that, hey, we saw something, and it happens on the offensive side of the defense. Hey, they saw a good play, they saw a good pressure, and they incorporate that into the scheme. We're not much different than that. So, again, just as we watch more tape, we get more data points, we're learning more and more and how we can implement those positive things that we're seeing to have a successful play.
Coach, thank you.
Okay, guys, thanks. Yep.